Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Friday, August 11th, 2017, and you're tuned in to episode 308 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. Our top story of the day is a good piece in Leafly written by Gage Peak, diving into a big change that's sweeping through Washington State's legal cannabis market, as state officials lift the cap on how many licenses marijuana business owners can hold from 1 to 3. On Wednesday, the State Liquor and Cannabis Board approved the change, which allows, for the first time, business owners to expand their reach and ownership positions. As Gage is reporting, that is expected to set off a lot of deals as successful companies grow and expand and existing players find exits. This is a good one to click over for the full read. As always, we have all the news we cover linked to on our website at mjtodaydaily.com and on our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily. Christopher Ingraham wrote a must-read piece asking if a declaration made yesterday by President Trump that he considered the opioid crisis to be a national emergency would be seized as justification for Attorney General Jeff Sessions to ramp up his war on drugs. As Christopher does a good job of explaining, making an actual emergency declaration lets local and state officials tap into the federal relief fund to pay for projects and to temporarily waive certain federal laws. Both of these powers can be great when in the hands of rational actors looking to actually fix a problem, but in the hands of rabid drug warriors led by a hostile attorney general, they can be equally damaging to the side of progress. Of course, given President Trump's recent history of making statements that government officials just ignore, and the fact that Trump's declaration came just days after he said he wouldn't be making a declaration of emergency, who knows what's really going on. Let's not forget that none of this is normal. Our final top story of the day is the news that Florida's Department of Health has issued 2 additional business licenses to medical marijuana dispensaries, bringing the total number of active license holders to 11, with 6 more set to be granted by October 3rd. The newly allocated licenses were created as part of the painful legislative process Florida went through this spring and summer to hammer out their current medical system. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz out on headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, MJ Today Media, publishers of this podcast, our weekly show, Marijuana Today, and our popular email newsletter, the MJ Today Media Newsfeed, which hits your inbox every morning with a big pile of relevant industry headlines, all sorted by location. Today, I want to quickly talk about our weekly podcast, Marijuana Today. Now, I know a lot of you already listen to Marijuana Today, but for those who haven't yet caught it, you are missing out. Each episode of Marijuana Today is right around an hour in length and features one of our 3 regular hosts chewing over the week's news with a few of our smart and talented regulars. Each week, they parse just a few of the most important stories and dive in with depth and insight that you'll be hard-pressed to find anywhere else. Our regulars are accomplished industry insiders, dedicated activists, passionate entrepreneurs, and everything in between. If you listen to this podcast every day and catch Marijuana Today on the weekly, then you'll be fully caught up and ready to seize your piece of legal marijuana. Information is power, and you need all that you can get. Get it with MJ Today Media. You can find Marijuana Today over at mjtodaypodcast.com and subscribe to the newsfeed at mjtodaymedia.com/newsfeed. That's mjtodaypodcast.com and mjtodaymedia.com/newsfeed. All right, time for the blitz. Tom Angel over MassRoots has a good write-up of the candidates running for governor in New Jersey and Virginia and the positions they've staked out on marijuana policy. On the more progressive side of the spectrum is Democratic nominee Phil Murphy, running for New Jersey's top political office, who has called for full legalization. Mr. Murphy's Republican opponent, current Lieutenant Governor Kim Guadago, doesn't take her support that far, but has come out in favor of expanding her state's medical marijuana program and for further decriminalization in general. In Virginia, Democratic nominee and fellow current Lieutenant Governor Ralph Northam is making decriminalization a prominent plank in his platform. This is a good one to open up for the full read. Bruce Barcott over at Leafly wrote about his experience at a recent political fundraiser held for Colorado Congressional Representative Jared Polis, who is running for governor. As Bruce wrote it, he sees the event as an important pivot point for the legal marijuana industry, as it was mobbed with all kinds of legitimacy and funding that, frankly, the world has never seen before, as the money is now going to politicians who have actually stepped up for legal marijuana in the past. One of the things I liked about Bruce's piece was the name dropping, which included my friends Betty Aldworth of SSTP and Jane West of Women Grow and Jane West Enterprises. New York State announced a handful of proposed changes yesterday to their medical marijuana program, including the addition of topicals and lozenges as delivery mechanisms for patients. The state's health department also wants to loosen up rules governing who can visit medical marijuana dispensaries to allow prospective patients and doctors who aren't yet enrolled in the program to enter, and to make it easy for dispensaries to advertise to their customers. The full suite of proposed changes will be published in the New York State Register on August 23rd and held for public comment for 30 days before being formally adopted. Turning our sights south to Arkansas, we find a new pro-medical marijuana association being formed to represent that state's nascent industry. On Wednesday, the Arkansas Medical Marijuana Association, or AMMA, announced their formation along with its mission to be, quote, the leading voice for medical marijuana cultivators, distributors, and businesses that serve the industry in the natural state, unquote. This is actually the second industry group to form in Arkansas, with the Arkansas Cannabis Industry Association having formed earlier this summer. In full disclosure on this one of the founding board members of the newly formed AMMA is our very own Chris Crane, a longtime regular on our weekly podcast, Marijuana Today, as well as one of the show's 3 rotating hosts. Medical marijuana students attending public schools in Florida are now able to, for the first time under state law, access their medicine while on school grounds during school hours. Under the new set of legislation signed into law by Governor Rick Scott, schools are required to come up with their own set of policies for how students with valid prescriptions can use their medical marijuana. The Nevada Sun looks at a draft set of regulations for their state set to go into effect on January 1st that would ban the home delivery of legal marijuana, even as current delivery services are allowed during this early opening phase of the industry. As regular listeners know, under Nevada state law, adult use dispensaries won't open until 2018, but during this early pre-launch phase, medical shops are free to sell to adult use customers and delivery services are legal. Under the set of proposed guidelines released last month, assuming no changes are made, that picture would change as customers would be required to pick up their cannabis in stores in person. This is, as you might expect, throwing some ripples throughout the state's industry. Our final story of the day is a sticky one, with the Cannabist unspooling the story of a legal dispute over the name Gorilla Glue, a moniker as familiar to your average regular consumer of legal cannabis as it is to any regular at your local hardware store, who might think of Gorilla Glue more as something she'd use to fix a broken widget or doodad. It's that dichotomy that lies at the heart of the lawsuit filed by the Gorilla Glue company against GG Strains LLC, the company formed to market the cannabis strain named after the glue. This kind of stuff is going to happen more and more, maybe especially with marijuana strains, so maybe not a bad story to open up in full. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again Monday morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our Twitter account at MJTodayDaily and visit our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. Thanks to our sponsor, MJ Today Media, and to all of our awesome Patreon listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the illustrious ranks of the Patreon listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in and starting your day with marijuana today.
One take, Shay. One take.